A Sigma male doesn't judge you by your words. He watches your patterns. He listens to the tone you use when you think no one's paying attention. He studies your consistency, your silence, your reactions when things don't go your way. You can fool almost anyone with charm or excuses, but never a Sigma. Because the Sigma male doesn't fall for appearances. He falls for truth. And once he sees the real you, it's already too late. And first, he'll give you space to reveal yourself. He won't confront, accuse, or argue. He'll just observe. And during that silence, every mask you wear starts to slip. Every half-truth, every subtle manipulation, every inconsistency, he catches it all. He stores it quietly until the day he decides it's not worth his energy anymore. And when that moment comes, he won't explode. He'll simply vanish, without anger, without warning, without explanation. Because when a Sigma male sees your true colors, he doesn't seek revenge. He seeks distance. That's his closure. His calm detachment is his revenge. By the time you realize what's happening, he's already moved on to something higher: clarity, discipline, and peace. This video will uncover what happens inside the Sigma's mind when he finally sees people for who they really are, and why, once that switch flips, there's no going back. Before we begin, subscribe to UltraWise, where we decode the mindset, power, and psychology of the modern Sigma male. And comment clarity if you've ever walked away the moment someone showed you their real self. He studies behavior patterns long before confronting anyone. A Sigma male never reacts on impulse. He observes. Long before he ever calls you out or questions your loyalty, he's already collected the data. Every tone shift, every delayed response, every contradiction between what you say and what you do, it all gets quietly stored in his mental archive. While most people rush to argue or defend themselves, the Sigma remains calm and unreadable. His silence is not ignorance, it's calculation. He knows that time reveals everything, and people always expose themselves when they think no one's watching. He studies you like a strategist watching a chessboard, not because he's paranoid, but because experience taught him that trust isn't given, it's earned through patterns. He doesn't need drama to see the truth. He looks for repetition. Do your words align with your actions? Do your promises match your energy? Are you consistent when no one's watching? The Sigma male catches these things naturally, not out of suspicion, but self-preservation. People often mistake his quietness for indifference, not realizing it's observation. He's not ignoring you, he's analyzing you. Every eye roll, every subtle lie, every moment you reveal what kind of person you truly are, he notices. He gives you room to be yourself, knowing that the truth always leaks through behavior. The Sigma doesn't confront early because he understands human nature. When people feel safe, their masks slip, and that's when he learns everything he needs to know. By the time you think you fool him, he's already 3 steps ahead. He knows what motivates you, what triggers you, and what your real intentions are. But he won't expose it. Not yet. He lets the truth unfold naturally because he trusts patterns more than excuses. He understands that words can be rehearsed, but behavior never lies. So when the Sigma male finally does confront or walk away, it never happens suddenly. It's the result of quiet observation, a decision formed from evidence he's gathered over time. People call him cold for cutting off without warning. But what they don't realize is that he did give warning. They just never paid attention. Because the Sigma male doesn't react when he's hurt. He studies, learns, and prepares. And by the time he's done watching, it's already too late. He ignores words and pays attention to emotional consistency. The Sigma male learned long ago that words mean nothing without emotional truth behind them. Anyone can say, "I care about you," or "I've changed," But for him, those sentences are just background noise until proven otherwise. He doesn't listen to what people say. He listens to how they feel when they say it. He watches the micro-expressions, the tone, the pauses that last a little too long. He notices the energy behind your words, that subtle vibration that either matches your message or exposes it as hollow. When someone tells him they're fine, but their body language screams tension, he registers that. When someone preaches loyalty but disappears when things get hard, he notes it down mentally. It's not about catching people lying. It's about tracking alignment. To the Sigma, consistency is the only form of truth that matters. You can fool anyone with convincing words, but emotional energy doesn't lie. If your words and your emotions don't sync, he instantly feels it, and that's the moment trust starts to erode. This is why people often feel uneasy around him. They sense that he sees too much. His intuition doesn't just read what's said, it reads what's unsaid. He feels the dissonance between what you present and what you suppress. And when he notices that gap widening, he doesn't argue or accuse, he simply withdraws. Because in his world, emotional inconsistency is a red flag that never fades. While others get distracted by charming words and polished apologies, the Sigma male stays grounded. He understands that emotions carry the real story, not speeches, not gestures, not promises. If your energy shifts every time you're caught, if your tone changes depending on who's watching, he won't confront you. He'll simply start detaching. That's how he protects his peace. For him, emotional consistency equals authenticity. It's not about perfection, it's about honesty. He can forgive mistakes, but not masks. Once he realizes your emotions are performance, the connection starts dissolving quietly, like smoke fading from a flame. And by the time you realize he's gone, you'll understand the truth he always lived by. Words might fool the world, but energy never fools a Sigma. Subtle manipulation and fake kindness don't escape his observation. The Sigma male has walked through enough emotional minefields to recognize manipulation in its softest form. You can hide it behind smiles, compliments, or carefully crafted concern. He'll still see it. He's learned that manipulation rarely comes wrapped in anger. It comes disguised as kindness. It's the helpful advice that slowly undermines his confidence, the friendly gesture that carries an unspoken debt, the concern that's really about control. While most people fall for sweet words and good manners, the Sigma listens to what isn't said. He feels the subtle shifts in tone, the micro movements of control, the invisible hooks behind the praise. You can't gaslight someone who studies emotion like an art form. The Sigma notices patterns, how your generosity appears only when it benefits you, how your compliments disappear the moment he sets boundaries, how your affection turns cold when he stops giving you what you want. These details are invisible to the average person, but to him, they're as clear as day. He doesn't call it out immediately because confrontation isn't his style. He lets you reveal yourself completely, and you always do. What makes the Sigma dangerous is his patience. He won't argue, won't accuse, won't react. He'll just keep watching. The longer you perform your kindness, the more transparent it becomes to him. He studies intent, not action. He can tell when warmth is genuine and when it's transactional, and when he realizes that your kindness has strings attached, he quietly cuts every one of them. No warning, no speech, just distance. People often assume they've fooled him because he doesn't fight back, but that's where they're wrong. His silence isn't submission, it's judgment. He's already decided who you are. By the time you notice his detachment, it's already over. The smile that once seemed understanding now feels unreadable. The eyes that once gave attention now hold none. He's done observing and done playing. Because the Sigma male understands something most don't. Manipulation isn't about what people do to you. It's about what you allow, and he never allows it twice. Once he sees through the performance, it's finished. You can't rebuild trust with someone who's already studied your mask and memorized every crack in it. The moment he confirms his intuition, his emotional detachment begins. For a Sigma male, intuition is not a guess. It's a quiet certainty that grows louder with every small inconsistency. When something feels off, he doesn't dismiss it. He studies it. He observes the tone that doesn't match the words, the timing that feels slightly off, the vibe that lingers long after the conversation ends. While others ignore their instincts out of fear of being wrong, the Sigma trusts his completely. And once his intuition confirms what he suspected, that someone's intentions aren't pure, that loyalty was never mutual, something inside him shifts permanently. His emotional detachment doesn't happen with noise or confrontation. It's silent, deliberate, almost surgical. The same mind that once overanalyzed every detail now turns cold and logical. He stops reacting, stops sharing, stops caring. The warmth in his voice fades, not out of bitterness, but out of clarity. He no longer invests energy trying to fix or understand someone who already revealed who they are. His focus quietly redirects inward, toward rebuilding his peace, toward protecting his mind. The Sigma male doesn't explode when he's betrayed. He withdraws. He doesn't seek closure because he already found it in the truth his intuition uncovered. While others might beg for explanations or cling to what's left, he simply walks away in complete emotional control. To him, detachment is not weakness, it's evolution. It's how he reclaims the power he once gave away too easily. What makes this phase powerful is how calm it looks from the outside. People often mistake his silence for confusion, not realizing its acceptance. He's not wondering what went wrong. He's already understood it. The connection is over in his mind long before it's visible to others. He stops overthinking, stops explaining, and stops hoping for change. Because once his intuition is confirmed, emotional involvement becomes unnecessary. And by the time anyone realizes he's detached, it's irreversible. There's no speech, no argument, no final goodbye. Just distance. Cold, quiet, permanent distance. The Sigma male's emotional detachment isn't revenge, it's protection. Because once he's seen the truth, he doesn't look back. He simply upgrades his standards and erases you from his peace without hesitation. He doesn't argue or expose, he simply withdraws in silence. When most people are hurt, they lash out. They need to be heard, to defend their side, to make sure the world knows what was done to them. But not the Sigma male. He's mastered the art of silent withdrawal, the kind that cuts deeper than any confrontation ever could. When he sees your true colors, when the mask finally slips, he doesn't waste energy explaining how he feels. He's already analyzed it, accepted it, and decided you're not worth another word. His silence becomes his statement. His absence, his closure. The Sigma male understands something most don't. Arguing with a liar only makes you part of their story. Exposing a manipulator doesn't change their nature. It only drains your peace. So, instead of fighting for validation, he chooses indifference. That's his revenge. Calm, quiet, and absolute. He knows that energy is currency, and his silence is the ultimate form of emotional control. You can't twist words that were never spoken. You can't manipulate someone who no longer reacts. His withdrawal isn't sudden, it's deliberate. He slowly detaches little by little, not to punish, but to protect himself. Messages go unanswered, conversations become shorter, eye contact fades. What once felt like warmth becomes a cold, unreadable presence. You'll feel it before you understand it, the distance growing, the energy shifting, the quiet walls forming between you and him. And by the time you realize what's happening, it's already too late. He's emotionally gone. What makes his silence so powerful is that it forces reflection. When he stops engaging, you start hearing your own echo, your own lies, your own inconsistency, your own behavior mirrored back at you. People who once thrived on his empathy suddenly feel invisible, powerless, irrelevant. That's what silence does. It exposes. For the Sigma male, withdrawal isn't weakness, it's wisdom. He knows his energy is sacred and his peace is priceless. He doesn't need to prove you wrong or make you feel guilty. Life will do that for him. By stepping back, he reclaims control, and the irony is, the quieter he becomes, the louder his absence echoes. Because when a Sigma male finally walks away in silence, everyone eventually feels the weight of what they lost and realizes that indifference is the sharpest closure there is. His distance reveals what people truly valued. When a Sigma male pulls away, he doesn't just disappear. He exposes. His silence becomes a mirror that shows people exactly who they are and what they really wanted from him. Some realize they never valued his mind, only the validation his presence provided. Others see they didn't love him. They loved the way he made them feel. His distance strips away comfort, forcing everyone around him to confront the truth they avoided when he was still there. Because when a Sigma male withdraws, he doesn't chase, explain, or fight for attention. He just lets the absence speak, and it always tells the truth louder than words ever could. While he was present, people mistook his loyalty for availability. They thought he'd always be there, listening, helping, understanding, forgiving. But the moment his energy is gone, they begin to feel what they took for granted. The long, thoughtful replies vanish. The calm reassurance disappears. The emotional anchor that kept everything stable, gone. Suddenly people start realizing they weren't giving, they were taking. They never valued the connection, they valued what they got from it. The Sigma male's distance is never impulsive, it's strategic. It comes only after quiet observation, after noticing who claps when he wins and who stays silent, who checks in without needing something, and who only appears inconvenience. He doesn't confront them about it. He doesn't need to. The space he creates does all the work for him. It reveals loyalty, exposes motives, and separates the genuine from the opportunistic. Those who were with him for the right reasons will try to understand his silence. Those who weren't will vanish the moment the benefits fade. That's the beauty of his distance. It's a filter disguised as peace. It cleans his circle without chaos. It purifies his environment without confrontation. And the people who once thought they could manipulate him suddenly realize they can't reach him anymore. Not emotionally, not mentally, not spiritually. In the end, his distance isn't punishment, it's revelation. It's the moment when truth steps into the spotlight and ego can no longer hide behind words. Because when a Sigma male withdraws, you finally learn what you valued more, his presence or your comfort. And by then, he's already moved on, wiser and completely unbothered. By the time you realize what you've lost, he's already evolved past it. The Sigma male doesn't leave to make a point, he leaves because the chapter has truly ended for him. While others linger in emotional loops, replaying memories and searching for closure, he's already turned pain into progress. His growth happens in silence, far away from the noise of apologies, excuses, and second chances. By the time you begin to grasp the depth of what you lost, his loyalty, his understanding, his calm presence, he's no longer the same man you knew. He's outgrown the version of himself that tolerated confusion disguised as love, manipulation disguised as care, and inconsistency disguised as just being human. When he walks away, he doesn't announce his evolution, he lives it. The same silence that once felt confusing now becomes his fuel for transformation. He uses solitude like a forge, burning away emotional weakness and rebuilding himself stronger, sharper, and calmer. While you're still trying to process his absence, he's already building his next chapter, one defined by purpose, not pain. His routine changes, his focus deepens, and his standards rise. The version of him that could have been reached with words or guilt is gone, replaced by one who no longer explains or justifies anything. What most people never realize is that the Sigma's detachment is not about revenge, it's about rebirth. The very moment he recognizes his energy was being wasted, he reclaims it entirely. Every ounce of emotion he once gave to the wrong people is redirected into his goals, his discipline, his peace. That transformation makes him unstoppable. Not louder, but lighter. He moves through life with quiet certainty, unbothered by what he left behind, because he knows exactly why he had to. When you finally notice his absence, the difference in the air, the emptiness in conversations, the lack of his grounding presence, it hits harder than any confrontation ever could. You start to realize that he wasn't replaceable, not because of what he gave, but because of who he was. But by then it's too late. He's already evolved past needing to be understood or remembered. His growth became his closure. Because once a Sigma male rises from disappointment, he doesn't return to explain his evolution. He just becomes the living proof that losing him was the real consequence all along. When he sees your true colors, he doesn't hate you, he outgrows you. Hate takes energy, and the Sigma male refuses to waste his on anyone who's already revealed themselves. When he finally sees your true colors, there's no explosion, no revenge, no dramatic ending, just quiet understanding. He doesn't hate you because he doesn't need to. Hate would mean he still cares, that you still have emotional power. But when he sees who you really are, something inside him shuts off completely. Not in bitterness, but in evolution. He no longer sees you through emotion. He sees you through truth. And once that happens, you lose access to him forever. The Sigma male's outgrowing process is subtle but final. He stops arguing because he's already accepted the reality. He stops seeking fairness because he knows not everyone has his depth. And most of all, he stops caring about being understood, because real understanding doesn't need convincing. While you might expect anger or resentment, what you get instead is silence. A silence that feels like distance, but it's actually transformation. He's simply leveled up to a version of himself that no longer resonates with dishonesty, drama, or shallow intentions. This outgrowing is spiritual. It's the moment he realizes that not everyone can walk with him to the next stage of his life, not because they're bad, but because they're still operating at an emotional level he's already transcended. So he releases them, peacefully, quietly, completely. He doesn't wish you harm, he just stops thinking about you altogether. His energy shifts from remembering what went wrong to building what's next. That's what makes him dangerous. In the calmest way possible. He doesn't destroy bridges, he just stops crossing them. And the irony? The people he outgrows often mistake his silence for indifference, never realizing it's actually wisdom. They'll replay memories, wonder when he changed, and hope for another chance. But there won't be one. Because once the Sigma male outgrows someone, returning would mean shrinking. And that's something he'll never do again. In the end, he doesn't hate you, he thanks you. You were the catalyst that forced him to evolve, the lesson that turned into clarity. His peace becomes the proof that he's not seeking revenge. He's walking toward alignment. Because when a Sigma male outgrows you, it's not personal, it's progress. When a Sigma male finally sees the truth, there's no confrontation, just evolution. He doesn't expose you, argue, or try to prove anything. He simply detaches and disappears into a higher version of himself. That's his power, calm, focused, and irreversible. Because the Sigma male doesn't lose people, he sheds layers. Every ending becomes an upgrade, every disappointment a lesson, and every betrayal a push toward mastery. You can't hurt a man who's learned to find peace in silence. His revenge isn't loud. It's the life he builds after you, the goals he crushes, the calm he radiates, the strength he no longer explains. And by the time the world realizes how much he's changed, he's already miles ahead, detached, evolved, and untouchable. If you've ever walked away not out of anger but out of clarity, you're one of them. Comment evolved below if you've reached that point where peace matters more than proving a point. And don't forget to subscribe to UltraWise, where we reveal the psychology, discipline, and mindset that make the Sigma male unstoppable in silence.